few weeks, cooing and gurgling, sometimes babbling, sometimes galling, sometimes in other languages might use other terms. It depends on the language that the child starts with. Cooing and gurgling, playing with sounds, their abilities are constrained by psychological limitations. They seem to be discovering phonemes at this point, distinguishing this phoneme from that phoneme, this phoneme from that, producing sequences of vowel-like sounds, high vowels, low vowels, back, front, and so on and so forth. E, U, G, K, etc. At the age of 5 months, they could distinguish between A and E, and the syllables ba and ga, ma. So their perception skills are good and mature at this point. At the stage of babbling, which is more advanced stage than cooing, different vowels and consonants, ba, and ga, mama, and so on, are acquired. And the age of this stage starts from 9, 10, 11, up to 12 months. The intonation patterns, combination of phonemes, nasal sounds, all these phonemes start to be acquired. And late age stage, the complex syllable combination, ma, da, ga, complex syllable combinations, ma, da, ga, ba, appear. Even the deaf children can babble. They can use their own hands. They can use their own vocalizations. The most common cross-linguistic sounds and patterns babbled the most, but later on they babble less common sounds. The next stage is the one-word stage, which starts at the age 12 up to 18 months. At this stage, the utterances can be recognized. However, it could be one utterance at a time. Single terms are uttered for every object. For example, if the child wants to ask for milk, then he would say only milk. For a cookie, he wouldn't say I want cookie, only cookie. For cat, he wouldn't say I want a cat, cup, and so on. And this is going to be pronounced like the childish speech, like the child could not sometimes pronounce ke. The child would pronounce te instead. Instead of saying cup, it would say top, and so on and so forth. And at the same stage, there will be holophrasing. Instead of saying what's that, it would say wassa. For you, fear, and so on and so forth. Yes. Next stage, which is the two-word stage. At this stage, the language acquisition gets more advanced, more vocabulary, more rules, more context, and at the age of this two-word stage is the 2 years old. And at this exact age, children start to contextualize, which means they start to acquire what is called communicative competence or pragmatic competence, in addition to in addition to linguistic competence. Adults behave as if communication is taking place, while the child does not only produce a speech but receives feedback confirming that the utterance worked as a contribution to the interaction. And an impressive fact is that by this age, whether the child is producing 200 or 300 words, he or she will be capable of understanding 5 times as many. So if 200 words, then he would understand 1,000 words. 300 words, he would understand 1,500 words. And the telegraphic speech, which starts at 2.5 years, and at this age, the child produces multiple word speech. The child has already developed sentence building capacity and can get the word order correct. Correct. Cat drink milk. Daddy go bye-bye. However, a number of grammatical inflections, grammatical function words cannot be present, although they start to appear. Simple presuppositions are also used. Vocabulary is expanding rapidly. And at the 3 years, vocabulary has grown more, better pronunciation, better use of language, and so on and so forth. Now, how the acquisition process works? The child doesn't acquire the language by imitating adults, no, but by trying out constructions and testing them against what the adult people say. So first, the child says, "My teacher holded the baby rabbit and we patted them." While the mother, "Did you say your teacher held the baby rabbit?" The child, "Yes, she holded the baby rabbit," and so on and so forth, until the child concludes that hold is the past of hold is held, not holded as he said. Okay, and the same situation with go. It is went, the past of go, not good. Men, not men's. Women, not women's, and so on and so forth. So developing morphology, again, there will be a kind of overgeneralization, which is the child applies the regular rule on irregular morphological constructions, and he would, the child would put s of the plural to irregular pluralized words such as foot. He would say foots instead of feet, man, mans instead of men, and so on and so forth. Developing syntax, the development of the 2 syntactic structures within 3 stages each. Developing questions has 3 stages, substages, and for developing negatives, again has 3 stages. Let's start with the questions. There are 3 stages in developing questions. The first stage is in only inserting where, who, which, what, and so on, all the question words beginning of an expression with rising intonation, like sitcha, where horse go. The second stage is more complex expression with some modifications. Why are you smiling? You want to eat? And so on. While the third stage takes the inversion of the subject and verb. Instead of "you will help me," it will be will you help me? What did I do? Which is a complete sentence, and language is acquired here. Regarding the negatives, again, 3 sub-stages. Stage 1, putting no, not and no at the beginning of the sentence. No teddy bear, no sit here. At stage 2, which says don't and can't appear, but still no and not before verbs. It doesn't follow the syntactic order of the language in question. He no bite you, I don't want it, and so on. Stage 3, didn't and won't appear, and at the right place, right position. I didn't cut it. She won't go. Okay? However, it needs some modification. While developing semantics, during the 2-word stage, children use their limited vocabulary to refer to a large number of unrelated objects. A large number of unrelated objects. This is called overextension. The meaning of a word on the basis of similarities of shape, sound, and size is extended on other subjects. For example, use ball to refer to an apple, an egg, a grape, and a ball. This is followed by a gradual process of narrowing down. Yes. Antonymous relations are acquired later, of course, and the distinction between more, less, before, after seem to be later acquisition. So the most important part of acquisition is acquiring semantics of a given language, because it has so many variations, so many words, complex system of vocabulary, and so on and so forth. This is only an introduction to first language acquisition. It has so many branches and sub-branches. We only scratched the surface of this field of linguistics as introductory part to the students. I would recommend to study questions because they are so important. That's all for me. Thank you very much.